didn't get any sex ed in Malaysia. I mean, in school.
Have I ever get sex education from school? No, I did not formally.
I have to say no.
I would say I did not learn sex education in school.
Sex education, not that I can recall of. Nothing really substantial about sex was taught to me in school, I think. Yeah.
I will learn it from the internet, I will learn it from the urban legends, I will learn it from my peers, I learn it from the stories I've heard, I will learn it from porn, I will learn it from a lot of other places that may not be the right type of education that you should, supposed to be taught by supposed to be learned by especially kids like me back then.
For the most part, it's by discovery through pop culture, movies, and to a certain extent even through pornography. That's how we learn about sexuality and how we are supposed to treat our partners.
Yeah, I noticed that the students learn a lot from their friends and probably from porn, which I don't think is actually right, because they might learn the wrong things, yeah.
I would have to say porn. I was very young actually. I was maybe about 12 years old when I have no idea what made movies. I started seeing like sex scenes of movies, and I'm like, okay, what's this all about? And I went online, and I discovered porn.
So that made it scary for all of us. And as I grew up, I heard more about it, and I had to resort to older friends who has had it, and also I had to resort to Google and porn. The only thing I learned about was about the reproductive system, which I don't think is comprehensive sex ed. To me, what comprehensive sex ed is how to use a condom, not what are contraceptive methods, because learning about contraceptive methods without knowing how to use them is as good as not knowing about the existence of it. And while there was a chapter on reproductive system in school, I don't think that was sufficient, nor was it comprehensive sex ed.
The most that we learned about in school was how the reproduction happened inside our body. Nothing to do about the process and how the application, the real life application. So in other words, it's more science than the actual thing that is happening. Therefore, just like any other people out there, I will learn about sex from other places.
Mainly because I think if you take sex education in Malaysia, how it's taught is you're taught that you have a system. So I have a reproductive system, men have a reproductive system, but there is absolutely no linkage. No one tells you what happens. How does a zygote form? Why does it form in your uterus, ovaries? You just taught the system as if it is created in a vacuum.
For the most part, for instance, in science subjects or biology, we learned about the reproductive systems and what happened when ovums are fertilized and so on and so forth. But I feel like sex education is something beyond that.
Because when I was small, I was in the UK, and they did teach about sex education and about protection, and they really taught what sex is, but never in Malaysia. I've never really learned about sex in Malaysia.
So, and for me, if the education system in Malaysia is good enough and actually actually integrate CSE in our education system, I wouldn't have had to resort to porn or Google. Things as simple as, you know, how to use condoms, what happens during sex, or what happens after sex. Those kind of things could have helped a lot. And it's not only in my personal view. The thing is, all my friends, in the context of youth, I feel like a lot of people are clueless, and it's dangerous because it does end up in illegal abortions. And I've seen people, I've heard, and I've actually experienced my own friends wanting to get an abortion but not knowing how, and scared because of all the legal implications and whatnot.
Of course, the porn industry is terrible in many, many ways, right? But it is informative. When you're 12 years old or you're 13 years old and you want to know about sex, it is all there. In a bad way, of course, it tells you that women, you do this, you moan this way, you do this, you know, shove it down your throat. It does all these things, you know. But to a 13-year-old who knows nothing, zero, it is like, whoa, this is a totally new thing compared to your classroom, right? No one is talking about this, and internet is here telling you that this is it. So I think it's absolutely just logical that a 13-year-old, 14-year-old would say, and then, hey, yeah, that is it. That is sex. That is exactly sex, because I have these urges, right? Yeah.
I think that we really need a comprehensive sex education in school. I'm looking at the bigger picture, apart from to save our life. I mean, apart from not wanting to be in any problem or in any trouble in the future, apart from avoiding all the HIV, STDs, apart from pregnancies and all, I'm also looking at the social problems where we have a lot of unwanted child. We have a lot of things that caused by a not safe sexual practice. Therefore, I think it's about time for us to break the taboo, and we really actually need to do something about it. And it starts from education, from school. We must not be ashamed, and we must not let the kids in the future to learn about sex from not good resource. We can always do this together, I think.